In this video, we're going to be unboxing, reviewing, and testing this Bezgar 16th scale brushless RC truck, the HP161S. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy, and this is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me bashing and crawling and drifting and racing, or doing product review videos and how-tos. And I love testing out small, new RC, budget-oriented RC trucks. And here today is what we have from Bezgar, brushless, four-wheel drive, fully ready to run, batteries and everything in it. Let's get it out of the box and see what it looks like. We have the manual here. Important part of all these manuals, of course, is they help you understand the basic function of the vehicle. So if you're new to RC, it'll give you a good idea of what all the buttons on the controller do, what everything happens there, how to work the vehicle, that kind of thing. But what's really important is it gives you all the part numbers and exploded diagrams in here. So if anything goes wrong with this truck, you have part numbers and places, understanding of how the vehicle goes together so that you can actually put it all back together and fix whatever may break in the future. Tool set, a battery charger included, a wheelie bar that I'm guessing we need to install, comes with a couple screws, AA batteries for the controller are even included, and then, you know, what's looking like a very basic controller here, but should do exactly what we need it to. And then of course is the truck itself, which honestly, I'm loving this paint scheme. It looks absolutely great. 16th scale, so you can see the size of it here. It is, you know, definitely not on the larger side of things, but is very good use for smaller yards, smaller spaces. Can be run on the street, can be run through the grass, should be good from that standpoint. Let's get the body off and see what we see underneath it. The first thing that we have underneath here, and Bezgar's done this in a couple vehicles here recently, is a very unique battery mounting system here. A twist and a pull, and you have a whole kind of self-contained battery unit that comes out and can be plugged into this charger. Kind of makes for a no muss, no fuss kind of situation. However, what's interesting here is I look on the back and it says 11.1 volts. So unlike most vehicles that are in this size and price range, they come with a 2S battery, which will be shown as 7.4 volts. So this is a 3S battery, which means this truck should have even a little bit more power than what we normally see. I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged into this charger to get it charging while we look at everything else. The other things I immediately notice on this vehicle, standalone receiver that works with the controller that has the lights, the servo, and the ESC all plugged into them. This is a great feature. A lot of the times these vehicles have this part and the ESC combined into one piece of electronics, which means if you do want to upgrade later down the line, it's much harder to do. Instead, this is separate, which actually is a great thing, and I really commend Bezgar for putting that in there. That is awesome. We have the ESC here with the servo mounted below it. Looks to be in good shape. You see the 3 wires. This is a brushless system. They are including a heatsink and a fan on it, which is great to see. The modular kind of tub style chassis that we have here is going to be borderline unbreakable. I've never seen online so far where someone has broken this chassis here in the middle. It should be very strong. We have oversized turnbuckles right here with the steering. These are adjustable, which you should not need to adjust them, but they are adjustable and they should be very strong. Very importantly, and an upgrade compared to a lot of vehicles, is you see these oil-filled shocks on all 4 corners. A lot of times, again, this size of vehicle comes with non-oil filled shocks. This will help give you much better control. See the bumper that we have here? We'll look here soon as to what it takes to get the wheelie bar installed and hope that we need to use it. The other thing that we see here is massive, just utterly massive drive shafts on the front and the rear, and we do have a light bar up here at front. So all metal gears throughout, brushless system. Honestly, this thing should rock and roll. If this battery, this proprietary battery, worries you at all, note that it does actually come with a T plug that plugs into it. This is a very standard plug across most of the RC industry. So you should be able to get a variety of other batteries that will physically fit in this space and then plug in and be able to use the vehicle. So that is good news. To assemble the wheelie bar, it looks rather easy actually. You'll see there's two embosses sitting off right here. This clips onto those points. This comes up to right where these two screw holes are going through the bumper. So it comes with supplied screws. So we will screw in both of these sides to hold that there. We will take these out and replace them with the new screws as we come in. Once you're there, this wheelie bar actually does have 3 points of adjustment, so you can actually adjust the height of the wheelie bar if you so desire. All right, so while I am impatiently waiting for that battery to charge on that super slow charger, I do have batteries in the controller, and I will note that right here, it actually gives you the off. If you click it to the first one, it's only 70% power, and then you go with full, that's 100% power. That is awesome. Since I am impatient, I have actually rigged up everything to run a 3S battery that I already have in the truck while I'm waiting on the other one to power up. So once you plug the battery in, you will see right here on the side that you just hit this button. You wait for it to initialize. We have steering, but then check this out. So this is gonna be fast, and I see some fun in our future. All right, I don't know if the battery is actually fully charged yet or not, but I am losing patience and losing sunlight outside. So you just slide it in there, clip it in, and then you plug straight into the front here. It's a good thing that's at 90 degrees, makes that a little bit easy. Again, make sure your controller's on first. If you want to turn your light on, you have your little function switch right here on the side of the controller, and boom, you have headlight. Oh yeah, let's go give this a shot. It's just like it's borderline. It's borderline uncontrollable. This thing is listed as wild on the side of the truck, and I legitimately don't know if I've ever had a truck live up to its name before. Oh my gosh, all of the power. It's just like easy back there. Like you don't even have to think about it. Yes. All right, so we clicked it down to 70% throttle just to see if it made it a little bit more manageable, and it still pulls full-on wheelies. It still will fly. It'll still do everything that it needs to do on 70% throttle. It is crazy. That's 70% throttle, and it's still just rolling, pulls a wheelie. So this wild truck just literally went through a whole battery on 3S at the skate park and 100% lived. Literally, we've walked away. It is fine. I missed a lot of body clips. I ended up losing a lot of body clips. Body actually fell off a couple times because it had 0 body clips on it, and I had to go back and find some body clips to keep the body on. The only other thing that happened, which has actually been kind of a pet peeve of mine recently, is I completely lost the fan. It's not that the fan broke, it's the fan's gone. It actually disappeared, but not a big deal. It's definitely a cool day out here. I'm not really too worried about this motor overheating anyway. I did find that this truck is just too wild on full power. 3S full power, it was just hard to control, and you just saw any kind of, it's so, the throttle ramp up on the controller is so intense that it's actually hard to keep the front end down and not overcorrect when you're jumping. I turned the controller down to that 70% mark, so much better, so much easier to drive. Still does backflips, still did everything I wanted it to do, long wheelies, everything. So this thing is literally probably one of the best little budget bashers I've ever tested. We have a bigger skate park that we go to sometimes, and I clearly need to get this thing over to that big skate park and give it a test, because I just kind of want to see now if I can break it. Because I mean, I literally just kind of gave it heck, and it lived, and so I am curious what it would take to actually break it. So be on the lookout for that. There may be a future video where I am literally taking this thing and seeing just what it will take to actually break it. I think it might be lightweight enough and bouncy enough. It just might not break. So I'll probably lose a bunch of body clips in the meantime. So I'm definitely going to figure out a solution for that, but that is not a big deal. Anyway, if you are in the market for a small budget basher, I have literally never tested something as utterly crazy as this. Now, it is not for beginners. Please hear me. Even when you have turned it down to 70%, it is not for beginners. If you have a beginner that you think maybe wants this vehicle, then you also need to buy a 2S LiPo to go with it. That is my recommendation. It is much more controllable on 2S, and I think would be a very good 2S basher. And for those of us that like to get wild, the 3S is there for your fun. All right, well, that's it. Links to this video, links to this truck will be down in the video description, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.